Today's topic is a Pokémon mainline games play guide. Which games you should play and which ones you can skip, whether you're a beginner or a returning player. Pokémon has 9 generations so far, and in this video, I'll cover every mainline Pokémon game ever released. No spin-offs, just the core games. I'll explain which games are must-plays and which ones you can skip, helping you experience all the regions without spending too much time in any one of them. First, we'll go over what each game offers. After that, I'll reveal the player skip list. Let's dive right into Generation 1. 1. Pokémon Red and Green versions. Japan only. Release years: 1996, platforms: Game Boy, Game Boy Color, 3DS, Virtual Console region, Kanto. Main protagonist: Red. These were the first ever Pokémon games, featuring the original 151 Pokémon. Well, actually 150, since Mew was an event-only Pokémon and isn't obtainable now. You explore the Kanto region and battle Team Rocket, but if you're an international fan, you're unlikely to play these unless you know Japanese. 2. Pokémon Blue version, Japan only. Release years: 1996. Platforms: Game Boy, Game Boy Color, 3DS Virtual Console. Region: Kanto. Main protagonist: Red Pokémon Blue in Japan was an upgraded version of Red and Green, fixing glitches and improving graphics. Internationally, the Red and Blue versions used the same wild Pokémon distribution as Japan's Red and Green, but with Blue's improved engine. Again, international fans probably won't play this. And since these first 2 games were never released internationally, they won't be on the player skip list. Now, let's get into the main games. 3. Pokémon Red and Blue versions. Release years: 1998 to 1999. Platforms: Game Boy, Game Boy Color, 3DS Virtual Console. Region: Kanto. Main protagonist: Red. These were the first Pokémon games released internationally, introducing the world to the Pokémon universe. 4. Pokémon Yellow, Special Pikachu Edition. Release years: 1998 to 2000. Platforms: Game Boy, Game Boy Color, 3DS Virtual Console region, Kanto. Main protagonist: Red. Inspired by the anime, your starter is Pikachu, who follows you outside of its Pokeball. Gym leaders have teams similar to the anime, and you even battle Team Rocket's Jessie, James, and Meowth. This was also the first enhanced version of a Pokemon game. Generation 5. Pokémon Gold and Silver versions. Release years: 1999 to 2002. Platforms: Game Boy, Game Boy Color, 3DS Virtual Console regions, Johto and Kanto. Main protagonist: Gold Ethan. Gold and Silver introduced 100 new Pokémon, a new region, Johto, and new features like shiny Pokémon and colored gameplay. You could also revisit Kanto, and Team Rocket returned. Pokémon Crystal version. Release years: 2000 to 2001. Platforms: Game Boy Color, 3DS Virtual Console regions, Johto and Kanto. Main protagonists: Gold, Ethan, and Chris Crystal was the first game to let you play as a female protagonist and introduced the Battle Tower. It was the second enhanced version in the series. Generation 3. Pokémon Ruby and Sapphire versions. Release years: 2002-2003. Platforms: Game Boy Advance, Nintendo DS with GBA slot. Region: Hoenn. Main protagonists: Brendan and May. Ruby and Sapphire introduced the Hoenn region with 135 new Pokémon and full-color graphics. You face Team Magma in Ruby and Team Aqua in Sapphire. 8. Pokémon Fire Red and Leaf Green versions. Release years: 2004. Platforms: Game Boy Advance, Nintendo DS with GBA slot. Regions: Kanto and Sevi Islands. Main protagonists: Red and Leaf. These were the first remakes in Pokémon history, bringing Kanto into full color and adding the Sevi Islands, a completely new area to explore. 9. Pokémon Emerald version. Release years: 2004 to 2005. Platforms: Game Boy Advance, Nintendo DS with GBA slot. Region: Hoenn. Main protagonists: Brendan and May. Emerald is the 3rd enhanced version of a game. This time, you face both Team Aqua and Team Magma. It also introduced the Battle Frontier in the post-game, offering the best Hoenn experience. However, the RNG in this game is very broken. What's RNG? RNG stands for Random Number Generator. It controls random in-game events, like which Pokémon you encounter or how often critical hits happen. In Emerald, certain mechanics, like Pokémon encounters or shiny odds, are heavily affected by RNG, making some outcomes harder or easier than they should be. Pokémon Diamond and Pearl, Gen 4, release years, 2006 to 2008. Platforms, Nintendo DS, DSi 2DS, 3DS, backwards compatibility. Region, Sinnoh. Main Lucas and Dawn. The slowest Pokémon games ever? Yeah. But Diamond and Pearl introduced the Sinnoh region, brand new gyms, and the revolutionary physical special split. Oh, and 107 new Pokémon joined the party. Team Galactic? Now that's a villainous team with style. Pokémon Platinum, Gen release years, 2008 to 2009, platforms, Nintendo DS, DSi, 2DS, 3DS, backwards compatibility. Region, Sinnoh. Main protagonists, Lucas Dawn, Platinum fixed everything. That sluggish gameplay? Gone. The weird Pokédex? Fixed. Plus, it added the Battle Frontier. New forms for Rotom, Shaman, and Giratina? Yes, please. And with Charon and Looker joining the story, even Cyrus shows up earlier. Platinum perfected Sinnoh. Pokémon Heart Gold and Soul Silver, Gen 4, release years, 2009 to 2010. Platforms, Nintendo DS, DSi, 2DS, 3DS, backwards compatibility. Regions, Johto and Kanto. Main protagonists, Ethan and Lyra. The second Pokémon remakes, and many say the best remakes ever. Johto and Kanto both return in full glory with modern upgrades. New music? Yes. Old school Gold and Silver tracks? Also yes. And every Pokémon from Gen 4 can follow you. Pure nostalgia with a twist. Team Rocket's still causing trouble too. Pokémon Black and White. Release years, 2010 to 2011. Platforms, Nintendo DS, DSi Enhanced, 2DS, 3DS, backwards compatibility. Region, Unova. Main protagonists, Hilbert and Hilda, 156 new Pokémon. Game Freak went all in with Unova. No old Pokémon until post-game? Bold move. Reusable TMs and the ability to reapply Repel? Game changers. And Team Plasma? Freeing Pokémon sounds noble. Or is it something darker? You'll have to play to find out. Pokémon Black 2 and White 2 Gen 5. Release years 2012, platforms, Nintendo DS, DSi, 2DS, 3DS, backwards compatibility. Region, Unova. Expanded. Main protagonists, Nate and Rosa. 2 years later, Unova feels brand new. Old Pokémon return, new areas open up, and Kyurem confused now? Team Plasma split into two factions. N leads one, Getsis leads the other, and Colress brings in some new energy. Black 2 and White 2? Game Freak at its peak. Pokémon X and Y, Gen release year, 2013, platforms, Nintendo 2DS, 3DS, region, Kalos. Main protagonists, Callum and Serena. Pokémon finally in 3D. Mega evolutions burst onto the scene, but only 72 new Pokémon joined this time. Still, Kalos was unforgettable. Team Flare? They look stylish, but are they truly villainous? You'll have to play to find out. Pokémon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, Gen 6. Release year 2014, platforms, Nintendo 2DS, 3DS, region, Hoenn. Main protagonists, Brendan and May Hoenn in 3D. Mega evolutions, fairy types, and everything from Gen 4 to 6 are here. Team Magma and Team Aqua got sleek redesigns. Maxie and Archie never looked better. Brendan and May also got fresh looks, but no Battle Frontier, and no Pokémon Z to follow. Poor Kalos, maybe someday. Pokémon Sun and Moon release year 2016, platforms, Nintendo 2DS, 3DS, region, Alola. Main protagonists, Sun, Elio, and Moon, Celine. No gym battles? That's right. The Alola region introduces island trials and challenges in place of traditional gyms. Say hello to Z-Moves, a new powerful battle mechanic, and the return of Mega Evolution. With 81 new Pokémon, the adventure is set in a tropical paradise. But paradise isn't all sunshine. Team Skull lurks around, causing trouble. And if that's not enough, the sinister Aether Foundation might surprise you. The post-game brings back familiar faces, Red and Blue, along with other returning characters. Alola isn't just a new region, it's part of Pokémon's 20th anniversary celebration. No wonder everyone's flocking there for a vacation. Pokémon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Release year 2017, platforms, Nintendo 2DS, 3DS, region, Alola. Main protagonists, Elio and Celine. An alternate timeline of Pokémon Sun and Moon with 5 new Pokémon, new forms, and even more content. Think Team Skull and Aether Foundation were the worst Alola had to offer? Think again. The post-game introduces Team Rainbow Rocket, a villainous force featuring iconic leaders from past Pokémon games. Exclusive Z-moves await certain Pokémon, making battles more exciting. And the mysterious Ultra Recon Squad? Their presence hints at something beyond Alola's shores. Pokémon. Let's go Pikachu, and let's go Eevee. Release years, 2018, 2024. Platforms, Nintendo Switch. Region, Kanto. Main protagonists, Chase and Elaine. A game designed to bridge the gap between Pokémon Go players and the main series fans. The beloved Kanto region is reimagined with stunning visuals and 153 Pokémon, the original 151 plus Melton and Melmetal marking their main series debut. Team Rocket is back, and so are Red, Blue, and Green. Even Jessie, James, and Meowth make an appearance. And with Mega Evolutions in the mix, Kanto has never looked better. A certain someone from Alola is also here. Who could it be? To obtain Melton and Melmetal, you'll need to connect to Pokémon Go. How? That's a story for another day. Pokémon Sword and Shield release year 2019. Platforms Nintendo Switch region, Galar main protagonists, Victor and Gloria HD graphics, 89 new Pokémon, including DLC, and the controversial exclusion of the National Dex made waves in the fandom. Forget about criminal teams. Team Yell is just a rowdy group of fans supporting their favorite trainer Marnie. But there's more behind the scenes. Macrocosmos and its leader might have some secrets to reveal. Pokémon Sword and Shield Expansion Pass, the Isle of Armor release year, 2020 region, Galar, Isle of Armor. A new area introduces the Isle of Armor, featuring Mustard's Dojo and new opportunities to Gigantamax Pokémon. Meet Urshifu, a powerful new Pokémon with 2 distinct fighting styles. And Mustard's wife, fans couldn't help but notice her charm. Pokémon Sword and Shield Expansion Pass, the Crown Tundra. Release year, 2020. Region, Galar, Crown Tundra. Embark on Dynamax adventures, explore legendary dens, and uncover the mysteries of Calyrex, Glastrier, and Spectrier. With returning legendary Pokémon and a deep new storyline, the Crown Tundra expansion offers a fitting conclusion to the Galar adventure. Pokémon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Release year, 2021. Platforms, Nintendo Switch. Region, Sinnoh. Main protagonists, Lucas and Dawn. Faithful remakes of the original Diamond and Pearl, these games stick closely to the classics, with chibi-style overworld designs and HD models in battle. Unlike past remakes that enhance their regions with new features, BDSP remains true to the originals. No Looker, no Charon, and no Platinum-exclusive content. Developed by Elke instead of Game Freak and built on Unity Engine, these remakes have left fans divided. Still, they include the National Dex up to Sinnoh, bringing the total Pokémon count to 493. No new forms or features, but hey, Chibi Cyrus is pretty cute, right? Pokémon Legends Arceus, release year, 22, platforms, Nintendo Switch. Region, main protagonists, Ray and Akari. This is where Game Freak put their heart and soul. Set in ancient Hisui, the past version of Sinnoh, this semi-open world game introduces 7 new Pokémon, fresh mechanics, and a deep, immersive story. Your starters? A unique mix, Rowlet, Cyndaquil, and Oshawott. Dialga and Palkia finally received their origin forms, satisfying fans who wanted more from Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. One day, your character is simply in their room, until they mysteriously get sent back in time. Perhaps by Arceus itself. Explore the vast region, uncover its mysteries, and meet the ancestors of familiar characters from the present day. As a member of the Galaxy Expedition team, your mission is to study and catalog Pokémon to create the very first Pokédex of the region. But wait, someone from Unova is here too. How did they end up in the past? Maybe they time traveled just like us. And what about an evil team, the Misfortune Sisters? They're just a group of troublesome bandits, but could there be a true villain lurking in the shadows? Or perhaps there's no villain at all? Well, you'll have to play and find out. Gen 9's Pokémon Scarlet and Violet release years, 2022 to 2024, platforms, Nintendo Switch. Region, Paldea. Main protagonists, Florian and Juliana. Pokémon introduced, 120, including DLC. New gimmick, Terastallization, a temporary battle effect that allows any Pokémon to transform into a gem-like form and gain a Terra type for the rest of the battle. Each Pokémon must already have a designated Terra type to activate this phenomenon using a Terra Orb. Trainers attend different academies depending on the game version, Naranja Academy in Scarlet and Uva Academy in Violet. The games feature Paradox Pokémon with past-themed designs in Scarlet and futuristic designs in Violet. Professors Sada and Turo are version exclusive, each linked to the mysteries of Area Zero. Team Star serves as the Academy bullies, but are they the real villains? There's more to uncover. National Dex is absent, requiring trades between both versions to complete the regional Pokédex. NPC houses are no longer accessible, and TMs revert to being single-use, but can now be crafted. Version-exclusive legendary Pokémon, Koraidon and Miraidon, can be ridden for exploration and travel. Pokémon Scarlet and Violet, the hidden treasure of Area Zero, the Teal Mask. Release year, 2023. Region, Kitakami. Players embark on a school trip to Kitakami, a land known for its towering mountain and rich cultural heritage. While it's unclear whether Kitakami is an independent region or part of a larger one, it has been confirmed to be outside of Paldea. This expansion introduces new Pokémon and exciting surprises, making it an essential addition to fully experience the game. Antagonists? Meet the Loyal Three, a group of Pokémon villains consisting of Okidogi, Munkidori, and Fezandipiti. Want to know more? Play to find out. Pokémon Scarlet and Violet, the hidden treasure of Area Zero Part 2, the Indigo Disc. Release year 2023. Region, Unova, Blueberry Academy. Players travel to Blueberry Academy, a sister school located in the Unova region, as exchange students. This expansion features new and returning Pokémon, with Terrapagos playing a major role in the story and serving as the DLC's mascot. Blueberry Academy introduces its own Elite Four, separate from Unova's, with no gym leaders and a league of its own. The Elite Four consists of Crispin, Amaris, Lacey, Clay's daughter, Drayton, Drayton's grandson. The Academy is led by Director Cyrano, and while only Blueberry Academy is accessible, it offers a refreshing return to the Unova region after many years. The antagonist? It's none other than Kieran, the Blueberry League champion. Want to know more? Play to find out. Pokémon Scarlet and Violet, the hidden treasure of Area Zero Epilogue, Mochi Mayhem, release year 2024. The player returns to Kitakami to encounter the mythical Pokémon Pecharunt. This DLC was released on January 11th, 2024, through an indefinite event distribution requiring a mythical Pechaberry. The epilogue is only accessible after the player has participated in the Academy Ace tournament at least once and completed the main storyline of the hidden treasure of Area Zero by catching Terrapagos. However, the mystery gift for the Pechaberry can be claimed at any time. Pokémon Legends ZA, release year 2025, platforms, Nintendo Switch, and possibly Nintendo Switch 2 expected. Announced in 2024, this game is anticipated to launch alongside the Nintendo Switch 2 or potentially for the current Switch. Speculation suggests it could be available on both consoles, though an exclusive release for the Switch 2 remains a possibility. The first look trailer showcased Lumio City, hinting at a possible return to the Kalos region. More details will be revealed as the release approaches. 1. Pokémon Japanese Red, Green, and Japanese Blue. These are the original games for Japanese players, but unless you understand Japanese, they're inaccessible for most. 2. Pokémon Red and Blue. As the first English releases, they hold nostalgia, but there are better ways to experience Kanto with improved mechanics and visuals in later games. 3. Pokémon Yellow, Special Pikachu Edition. This game introduced some unique elements, but with remakes like Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, it's largely outdated. 4. Pokémon Gold and Silver. While groundbreaking for their time, Crystal and the Heart Gold Soul Silver remakes offer enhanced ways to explore Johto. 5. Pokémon Crystal. A fantastic game, but the Heart Gold Soul Silver remakes provide the same content with modern improvements. 6. Pokémon Ruby and Sapphire. These games paved the way for Hoenn, but Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire are superior versions with more features and updated gameplay. 7. Pokémon Diamond and Pearl. While they reintroduced Sinnoh to fans, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl provide an updated experience, making these originals skippable. Must play list. 1. Pokémon Fire Red and Leaf Green. These remakes are the best way to experience the Kanto region with updated mechanics, graphics, and post-game content that the originals lacked. They stay true to the classic adventure while improving it. 2. Pokémon Emerald. It offers the definitive Hoenn experience by combining the best elements of Ruby and Sapphire, adding the battle frontier and an expanded storyline that makes it the superior choice for Gen 3. 3. Pokémon Platinum. This is the best version of the Sinnoh region, improving the story, pacing, and features from Diamond and Pearl. The inclusion of the Distortion World and expanded Pokédex make it a must-play. 4. Pokémon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Widely regarded as some of the best remakes ever made, they enhance the original Gold and Silver with modern mechanics, beautiful visuals, and the ability to have Pokémon follow you. The amount of content is unmatched. 5. Pokémon Black and White. These games introduced one of the most engaging stories in the series, with deep themes and a fresh approach to the Pokémon formula. Since they never received remakes, experiencing them in their original form is essential. 6. Pokémon Black 2 and White 2. Rather than a typical third version, these direct sequels build upon the foundation of Black and White, offering an expanded Unova, a refined story, and new features that make them unique. 7. Pokémon X and Y. The first mainline games on the 3DS introduced 3D visuals and Mega Evolution, making them a milestone for the series. They offer a fresh experience with a strong focus on customization and connectivity. 8. Pokémon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. These remakes bring Hoenn to life with modern mechanics, updated visuals, and the addition of Mega Evolution, making them the definitive way to experience the region. 9. Pokémon Sun and Moon. Even though Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon exist, Sun and Moon are part of the original timeline. Their story, unique trials replacing traditional gyms, and the Alola region's charm make them essential. 10. Pokémon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. These expanded versions add more content, Pokémon, and a refined story set in an alternate timeline. They offer the most complete Alola experience. 11. Pokémon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. Perfect for both newcomers and returning players, these games provide a fresh take on Kanto with modern mechanics inspired by Pokémon Go, featuring a more relaxed and nostalgic journey. 12. Pokémon Sword and Shield, full game plus DLCs. The first true home console Pokémon games introduced the Wild Area, Dynamax battles, and the Galar region's unique British-inspired setting. The expansions, Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra, add much-needed depth and content. 13. Pokémon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. These remakes stay true to the originals while adding modern quality-of-life improvements, making them the most accessible way to experience Sinnoh without the slow pacing of the original games. 14. Pokémon Legends Arceus. A bold step forward for the series, offering an open-world experience set in ancient Sinnoh. Its fresh gameplay mechanics, deep lore, and unique exploration-focused approach make it a must-play for any Pokémon fan. 15. Pokémon Scarlet and Violet, full game plus DLCs and epilogue. Despite technical issues, these games offer an expansive open-world experience with deep lore surrounding Area Zero. The DLCs and epilogue complete the story, making them essential for understanding the Gen 9 narrative. I made two kinds of play orders for beginners starting their mainline Pokémon journey, first and second. What's that? Let me explain. These are the best games to experience each Pokémon region for the first time with the most complete and improved versions. Second playthroughs. These games offer alternate ways to revisit familiar regions with new features and updated mechanics for a fresh experience. First playthroughs, exploring each region for the first time. 1. Pokémon Fire Red and Leaf Green. They're first in the play order because they're the Kanto remakes, offering a faithful yet modernized experience of the first region in the Pokémon series. 2. Pokémon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Placed second because they allow players to explore Johto and Kanto, offering two regions in one game while improving upon the Gen 2 experience. 3. Pokémon Emerald. Third in the order, as it's the best way to experience the Hoenn region with additional content and post-game features like the Battle Frontier. 4. Pokémon Platinum. Fourth, because it's the definitive Sinnoh experience, with a better storyline, improved gameplay, and expanded content over the original Diamond and Pearl. 5. Pokémon Black and White, fifth in the order since they introduce a fresh start with no returning Pokémon until the post-game, making them perfect for newcomers to experience Unova. 6. Pokémon Black 2 and White 2. Placed after Black and White because they continue the Unova story 2 years later, providing a sequel rather than a remake or enhanced version. 7. Pokémon X and Y, seventh in the order as they introduce Mega Evolution and serve as the foundation for modern 3D Pokémon games in the Kalos region. 8. Pokémon Sun and Moon, eighth because they changed the traditional formula with Island Trials and Totem Pokémon, offering a fresh take on the Alola region. 9. Pokémon Sword and Shield, full game 2 DLCs. 9th in the order as they introduce the Galar region with open world elements like the Wild Area, and the DLCs expand the experience further. 10. Pokémon Scarlet and Violet, full game, 2 DLCs and epilogue. 10th because they feature the first fully open world experience, allowing players to freely explore Paldea and complete the story at their own pace. Second playthroughs, revisiting regions in different ways. 1. Pokémon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, placed first in the second playthrough order as they offer a different way to experience Kanto with simplified mechanics and Pokémon Go connectivity. 2. Pokémon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Second because they provide a modernized return to Hoenn with Mega Evolution and expanded storylines like the Delta episode. 3. Pokémon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Third in this order as they offer a faithful remake of Sinnoh, ideal for revisiting the region after experiencing Platinum. 4. Pokémon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Fourth because they enhance Sun and Moon, with additional content and changes to the storyline, giving a fresh perspective on Alola. Flexible placement, Pokémon Legends Arceus. At first, I thought this game could be played at any point, but now I recommend playing it after completing Sword and Shield for those who will only follow the first play order and won't do the second. Originally, I considered placing it after Platinum, but I changed my mind because this is a Gen 8 game with mechanics from Gens 6, 7, and 8. You'll encounter Pokémon from Unova, Kalos, Alola, and Galar, which could lead to spoilers if you play this right after Platinum. So, if you're only following the first play order, I suggest playing this after Sword and Shield, and then moving on to Scarlet and Violet. However, for those who plan to follow the second play order after the first, you should play this after Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. By doing so, you'll remember the Sinnoh characters and recognize their ancestors in Hisui, while also avoiding spoilers for later generation Pokémon, since by then, you'll have already played every game in the first order. This was just my opinion, and a guide for beginners looking to dive into the world of Pokémon. All credit for the Pokémon games goes to Game Freak, Nintendo, Creatures Inc., and everyone involved in bringing this amazing series to life. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the bell icon so you never miss an update. Don't forget to smash that like button, and if you found this guide informative, share it with your friends who are planning to start their Pokémon journey. I'll see you in another video. Also, don't forget to comment your thoughts on the video. Goodbye! And if you've already played every mainline Pokémon game, just chill. Wait for Legends ZA, fingers crossed, or dive into some spin-off games. They're just as great.